So by now, we've all heard the narrative that retro game collecting it's just impossible in 2021. The prices are too high. There's no way I can start game collecting in 2021. Wrong. In this episode, it is all killer, no filler, 10 NES games you can get for under $10. What are we drinking today?
Today we're drinking Heathen by Hopping Frog. This is an Imperial Black IPA.
I don't even know what that means, but you know the drill. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell icon so you never miss one of our bi-weekly uploads. And sit back, relax, pour yourself an adult beverage if you care to, and let's talk about 10 dingers on the NES that are under $10.
Girl J-Love81 and you're watching my boys gaming off the grid.
All right, so we're here to point you in the right direction if you're looking to start an NES collection. And these are all games we actually have in our collection. So we're going to talk about 10 dingers on the NES that are under $10, some of them substantially under $10, and there's plenty more.
Oh, a lot more.
But the whole point of this is we tend to hear that narrative that collecting's impossible nowadays. The market's gotten so high. These damn YouTubers drive up prices.
Retro
and it's
games are expensive.
Yeah, it's like maybe you're looking in the wrong areas, and maybe there are still some kind of hiddenish gems out there that you don't know about. I think the hardcore folks do. But anyway, we're going to jump right in, and this is not a hidden gem whatsoever.
No, this is the most common NES game ever.
But it's like $4, guys. It checks in on pricecharting.com at $4.01, and that is the Mario and Duck Hunt combo. So all the prices you're going to hear in this episode are from pricecharting.com. If you jump on eBay, it might be a little higher than that, but you shouldn't pay much more than any of the prices we say today.
And this game is so badass. You get 2 games in one.
Yeah.
I get why it's only $4 because this is the most common NES game out there. Everyone had this. If you had an NES game and you only had 2 games, this was one of them. But you can't freaking beat these 2 games.
Yeah,
Mario Bros, it's one of the best games ever made, and then Duck Hunt, so much fun, so much nostalgia. $4.
But quick reminder, if you're going to play Duck Hunt, you got to have that CRT because the zapper doesn't work on a flat screen. But $4, come on. I mean, for the game that changed the industry, that's pretty impressive.
Now moving on to one of my favorite NES games of all time. It's a Konami game, and that's Jackal. Gosh, this game is badass. It's a co-op Jeep.
Yeah, you're in a Jeep shooter.
Dude, throwing bombs.
We beat this game last year,
We beat this game on stream last year. We're going for a no-death run. Oh my god, Jackal. And it only comes in at $9.90, so right under $10.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And that's the most expensive game on our list today, but Jackal is epic. You already mentioned Konami. We're going for the no-death run in 2021.
Yes.
And it's just a fantastic game. If you are into that style that Konami brought in the NES era, this like checks all the boxes. So it's a good one. All right. I would have never heard about this game if it wasn't for a full review from Nefarious West.
Yes.
We'll leave a link in the description below to his review of this game. But I was like, holy shit, that game's awesome. And I think he even hit me back with the comments like, dude, it's super cheap. Like, go pick it up.
And you were like, what?
It's a Capcom game. It's a shooter. It's Section Z.
So the cover looks a little weird. Looks a little generic. But
all the Capcom games back then, at this time frame,
had that same look.
Yeah.
This game comes in at $9.49, so just under $10, and it's a badass shmup. It's only one player, but it's cool because it has the flip mechanics, so your guy can turn around and shoot behind you, and it gets chaotic quick.
And there are elements of this game just from an art style and where they position things in the level that kind of remind me of Gradius, you know, like with your turrets down below and above, things like that.
And I also kind of get a Metroid vibe from this because of all like the canals and like the puzzles and stuff. You know?
Although, you know, it's not free roaming. It is kind of driving you to a certain area.
It does kind of look like that, you know?
For sure. But definitely a cheap shooter. And, you know, the NES is not like robust with great shooters. There are some. But if you're a shooters fan, you got to give Section Z a try. It is not without its flaws, but it's a really good game and it's hard as fuck.
And it's under $10.
Yeah.
Now moving on to a great football game. Tecmo Ball. Look at that cover. So iconic. This game comes in at $8.81. Everyone knows Tecmo Ball.
Who doesn't like
This game
Tecmo Ball?
is so much fun, especially when you're doing versus 1v1.
It's fair to say, I would think, if you're building an NES collection, Tecmo Bowl is one of those games you just have to have.
You have to have it.
You have to have Mario Bros. You know, depending on what type of game you like, you may say, Jackal's not my thing. Section Z's not my thing. But I don't even think you have to be a sports fan to like Tecmo Bowl.
No, dude.
It's just the icon. It's the OG.
And the cover is so bad.
It is. Simple and whatever. Okay. Run and gun games. If you're into games like Jackal, like Heavy Barrel, like the, I would say the, what do I call them? Perspective levels in Contra. I think you should check out Guerrilla War.
Oh, yes.
I grew up and I didn't know anything about this game. I got to credit finding this game to Megadan29, which I could give him a lot of credit for a lot of games he's shown me. But this game is a co-op game. It's a run and gun, vertical run and gun shooter.
And it's tough because sometimes like the palm trees are covering so you can't see.
Yeah.
And you got to save people.
This game is fun as hell.
It's fun but hard, and you can get different weapons. You can get in tanks, which is really cool. This game comes in at $9.74.
It's an SNK game.
And it's just, I love co-op run and gun shooter. Like, it's such a great co-op
It's a fantastic game. You get a buddy and you play this game. You're going to have a good time, but it is pretty tough. So.
And speaking of getting a buddy, let's move on to Double Dragon.
Bimmy and Jimmy.
Bimmy and Jimmy, The Revenge. So this is a great co-op beat 'em up. This comes in at $8.50. What's cool about this is there's two versions of this co-op. So you can play it with friendly fire and without friendly fire.
So it's A.
A is without friendly fire, and B is with friendly fire, which I think is such a cool thing they added because the friendly fire and beat 'em ups drives me nuts.
I hate it.
It drives me nuts.
Which is, you know, one of the reasons I've always said I like Turtles in Time more than Streets of Rage.
Because of the friendly fire.
I love Streets of Rage, but dude, I hate when I'm fighting and you come up and suplex.
Yeah, it's like,
you know?
and I'm like, I didn't mean to do that. So that's really nice. This game is kind of, the controls are kind of weird because one of the buttons is forward, the other button is the backwards fighting, but
played the Double Dragon games, I think you get that, especially on the NES. The cool part about Double Dragon 2 is it's two-player. If you guys remember, Double Dragon 1, which was two-player in the arcades, is not two-player on the NES. I think it was two-player on the Master System, which Master System fans are like, oh, that's why we're better than you. So, come on, bro. Come on. Don't go there. It's weird because the third one, which I'm okay with Double Dragon 3, but there's people who shit on Double Dragon 3. There's a lot of people who hate
Double Dragon 3.
What I'm getting at is this is kind of regarded as one of the best Double Dragon games on the NES, and it's super, super cheap, so you need to add it to your freaking collection. Sports games. Yes. There's some things in my life that it's like, hey, I'm okay with everybody having opinions, but if you don't agree with a few things, it's like we probably can't be friends. If you don't like Dumb and Dumber, it's just probably not going to work out for us.
Well then, good day, mate.
If you're not a fan of The Office, it's probably not going to work out for us.
You know what they say. Fool me once, strike one. But fool me twice, strike three.
If you're not a fan of RBI Baseball,
it's not going to work out.
It's not going to work out for us. Yeah, the graphics are dog shit. Yes, the player models look like Fisher-Price toys. Yes, all your fielders move in one direction.
But that doesn't matter.
This game
doesn't matter.
When we were preparing for this episode, we lost the majority of the night playing this game.
Oh my god. Dude,
it's so fun.
You get a freaking 6-pack of beer, a 12-pack of beer,
24-pack,
and play this with a buddy, dude, it's so fun. I was laughing so much because I was like, throw in the freaking body, throw it to first base instead of second base. And then hitting a home run. Every time you hit a home run, dude, the crowd goes wild and there's fireworks.
It's like simplicity is bliss. Keep it simple, stupid. It's such a simple game, but it's so fun. It literally is so rewarding. When you hit a home run, it never gets old. It's a good time.
It's such a fun game. So this game is $7.30 for so much fun. I know it's simple, but man, it's fun. Now moving on to a great game by
Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in a Half Shell, Turtle Power.
TMNT by Ultra, or should I say Konami. This game is
keep that on the DL.
$5.41, and it is freaking sweet. It's hard as balls, though.
Yeah.
This game is so hard.
What's cool is if you were a Turtles fan back in the day, I feel like there were 3 great Turtles games on the NES. Now, I think a lot of people think this is the worst of the 3 Turtles games on the NES. This game is still fun, and those overworld levels, or not levels, the overworld map where you have to go down in the sewers and stuff, there's something about that, and having to avoid the Zamboni type things that can kill you in one shot.
Those things are so annoying.
Yeah.
But dude, it's a great platform. I love how mid-game you can switch between the 4 turtles. It's so much fun, and it's so hard, but I feel like it controls well, so if you die, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Which I die a lot, so it's
But there's some strategy in this game because you can switch characters on the fly. You have to pause and you can switch characters. So you save the pizza, you put the dead guy on the bench, or the almost dead guy, and then when you get the pizza, you put the almost dead guy back in and you eat the pizza, nom nom nom, and he's healthy again, and it's so fun. And this goes down in history as the most rented video game in my life. I rented the shit out of this. I never owned it until my adult life, but I don't even know how much money my parents spent renting Turtles for me.
Yeah, and now you can buy it for $5.41.
And when you said TMNT. That's fine. That's the new norm. But back in the day, that wasn't an acronym.
It wasn't?
No. And so every time I hear it, I'm like, modern Turtles fans, be damned.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
There we go. Moving on. Okay, shooters. Again, not a huge robust. I feel like the Genesis goes down as one of the best shooter consoles, but this game is really good, and I butcher the developer all the time. It's Taito?
Something like that.
Something in that realm. Sky Shark. I really, really like this game, and there were some honorable mentions we might get to that are other shooters, but this game, it's a vertically scrolling shooter, and it just plays really well. I really like it.
The visuals are great.
There were some shooters kind of early on or in this realm that like they almost had like Paperboy type graphics where the environments were super bland and
Tiger Heli.
yeah, it's a good game, but the graphics just, it's like, am I flying through the Paperboy neighborhood or what's going on? But Sky Shark is one that I think you should pick up. $4.45.
This game is 2-player, but it's 2-player take turns.
Yeah. So every death it switches to the other person,
which is kind of like the arcades back in the day, which is awesome. And this game, it's just an awesome plain shooter.
I think that this game, the reason they did that, I could be wrong, but I feel like with all the stuff going on in the games and the robust graphics,
it gets chaotic.
I think if there were 2 people on the screen, it couldn't handle it. I think it would be so much slowdown.
And the visuals in this game kind of remind me of Jackal. Like it has the dark greens and like that kind of stuff. So that's really sweet.
Really cool game, super cheap game, and it's another game that growing up, it's like I did not know about Sky Shark. Nope. Recently found it. I think somebody in the comments was like, bro, you guys need to play this. And it just shows like all these years later, even if you grew up in the era of the NES, there's stuff you missed, and there's some really good stuff, low-hanging fruit. This other game, this isn't a game that's going to surprise anybody, but it's just great.
It's a great game. This game comes in at $5.16. RC Pro-Am. This is only single player, which I initially thought it was 2-player, but it's not. It's only 1 player.
It might be the second one or third one that we're thinking of.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it's such a simple racing game that you climb the ranks, you upgrade your car.
Countless hours of fun.
But, dude, it is kind of tough. Like, learning how to control, and, like, every time I drive, I'm always going in the grass.
So you figured it out, though, like, you gotta play this game almost looking at the secondary map as much as you do the main map. Yeah, that's the strategy.
Because if you don't look at the map, you don't know when the turn is coming, but then if you don't look at the top map, you're gonna hit the water or the oil.
So that's how you gotta start playing it. Then as you memorize the game and you play it a lot, which a lot of NES games you just have to rinse and repeat, you start memorizing them, and it's you don't get that random driving off into the grass bullshit because you gotta know what's coming. But that secondary map or overview map allows you to kind of see what's going on.
But so much fun and so simple.
It is, and rare. On the NES, the game isn't rare. The developer is rare.
That's crazy.
That was kind of a good start for them. And we all know what they went on to do.
Amazing things.
Especially in the N64 era. It was pretty solid.
Yes.
Speaking of SNES era, for that matter.
Yeah, speaking of solid, let's talk about this beer.
Yeah.
The Heathen by Hopping Frog. This comes in at 8.8%. It's an Imperial Black IPA, which I was like, what does that mean?
So Hoppin' Frog Brewery, we've never had a bad beer from them.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get in our area. The first few times we had it, we had a buddy, BK, send it to us or gift it to us. And I've never had an Imperial Black IPA, so I don't even know what I was thinking when I came into this. But this is a very malty, roasty, robust beer with like an IPA kind of finish.
Yes, the IPA like hop taste doesn't come into the end. So when you first take a sip of this, you're like, this is like a pretty solid stout or like something like that. It's very weird.
It is weird because I wouldn't guess if I could erase the taste after the 2/3 mark, I wouldn't pick probably IPA.
No.
But the finish is 100% IPA. Like the finish and what I'm tasting in my mouth right now as I'm speaking is like, oh, I'm drinking an IPA.
It's just...
So it's like an evolution of flavors.
Yeah,
it goes like 1, 2, 3.
It's so crazy, and it's a smooth drinker with lots of flavor.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't think that it's so high percentage, which is kind of dangerous with this beer. This is really good, but really unique.
And it's a sipper. You don't want to like sit down and think you're going to have 3 or 4 beers when you're drinking something like this. Robert already mentioned it's an 8.8.
Yeah.
We have 1 can. We split it between the 2 of us, and that's more than plenty. We'll be drinking on this for probably 30, 40 minutes to an hour. So it's just an enjoyable sit back, enjoy it. Let it kind of get down to room temp, and you'll be mighty fine, porcupine. Speaking of porcupines, there is a lot of quills to be had on the cheap for the NES. That was a horrible joke. But
that was a good transition, though. 10 games. There's a lot more. There's even a lot that are just slightly above $10.
Yeah.
Like Gradius is just slightly above $10.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic game.
And there, you know, we were damn close to putting Russian Attack on the
Oh,
list.
that's a fun game, except for the freaking up is jump.
I love the game, and when I was younger, that didn't bother me as much because I didn't know any better. But man, going back and playing Russian Attack and the up on the D-pad is jump, come the fuck on. That was a dumb move. But anyways, this is a list of dingers, and we're gonna do the Super Nintendo as well. We'll probably up the threshold to $15,
Yeah.
but it just goes to show that not every game is, you know, those $150, the holy grails. If someone, like, if this is all you had on the NES,
God,
I mean, you would be doing really well and you'd be set. And there's far less than $100 spent here, and then NESs aren't even that expensive. So
no, and then you can get controllers for dirt cheap. Guys, all these games are so much fun. We couldn't stop playing them. We're still playing these NES games in 2021, and it's freaking, what, 35 years old?
you can still start a retro game collection. You don't have to break the bank for good games on the NES. That is the moral of the story. The other moral of the story is this episode is done. Don't listen to all the stuff about retro game collecting. It's just too expensive for me to do. I'll never be able to retro game collect because I missed the window of when everything was good and great and grand and I could find games at thrift stores and garage sales and all that stuff. Yes, those days were really good.
Yes.
But there's still some low-hanging fruit out there for your sweet little hands to go out there and pluck from the trees.
Oh, yeah.
We always appreciate you guys tuning in and subscribing to the channel. We'll see you next time. Right here on Gaming Off the Grid.
Let's try this.
Yeah. Let's give her a little sippy on the tippy.
The Hop Heathen.
Damn, that's robust. She's got a nice bust.
She's got a nice row boat.
It's overblown. It's exaggerated. It's not gonna say it. I was gonna say it's fake news. I don't want to give him that.
It's fake news. Hop Heathen. My friends are hops. Take it slow.
All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wrong. In today's episode, we're going to tell you about 10 dingers on the NES you can get for under $10. And guess what, guys? This is all filler. All filler. Okay. All right.